Good morning and welcome back. Thank you. I'm so happy that we are seeing each other.
Yeah, me too. This is so much more fun than just a screen.
Oh my goodness, I know. Like when I saw you, I was like, I know I was busy, but I was like, I gotta hug her. I need to feel her. I need to feel her. So it's just so good to actually physically be with you.
It is. And you know, the pandemic got us so used to screens.
I know.
It's so nice to be in person.
I know. And I'll tell you, there's so many people that are still doing online schooling. And I'm like, touch someone.
Touch someone today.
Give a hug. Give a free hug. But I love the topic that we're going to be discussing today because it just makes me think of one specific mama that actually just had a baby during Christmas and who actually wants to homeschool for the first time. Her older one, I think he's like middle school going toward high school, so she wants to leave him in the private school that they're going to. But now she has this infant, yet wants to homeschool her second grader, and her husband is not about it because he is very worried in regards to her attention.
Right.
And it also comes to mind mamas that I know that have 8 children and are homeschooling all 8 children. And I've asked them, Cynthia, you homeschooled fine.
I did.
How do you, and I don't want to say the word balance because whenever I think of balance, even though it's such a cultural word, when we balance, we don't move.
That's right.
So I don't want us to balance, but how do we play the role of not forgetting the older ones when we're so focused with the younger ones? And vice versa, and even our husbands. Again, 8 children, 5 children, or an infant, and you want to homeschool. How do you make it happen? I guess that's the question. How do you make it all happen?
It's a hard job. And I think one of the biggest things that you have to remember is your husband. Because the whole thing will fall apart if you don't keep that relationship with him strong. But you have to put out a lot of effort, especially with the little ones, because they need that one-on-one attention. Now, I had a friend who her solution was that she would spend time with the little one. And then when she was teaching the older one, she would assign that little one to one of the other children to play with and to spend time with. So that works. And I had a disabled child too.
Right.
And that deserved a lot more attention because he couldn't do certain things that other children would do. And when I worked with him, it had to be one-on-one and it had to be me because it upset everybody else. And so I had to explain to the other children, he gets his time, and then we'll spend time with you when we can. And I tried to do things like I'd go out and spend time with them, especially on their birthday or that kind of thing. But they had to understand that during adult childhood, you do have to split your time between kids. And so I would try my best to spend time with them and do things with them, especially things that are fun.
Right.
I think that that's important.
They want that.
They do.
And you want that too.
And because
we crave that.
And it also relieves stress.
Right.
To have fun.
Right.
So if you can have fun with them, a lot of times that makes a big difference. Our verse for today, I think, is important. And that is, and it's good for not just kids, it's good for everybody. It's owe no one anything except to love one another. And so you're going to have to be really tuned into the Lord in terms of, do your kids need you more today than yesterday? Or is somebody feeling left out? So I think spending a time with the Lord and having him help you with that so that you know what's going on in their little hearts. And having him talk to you. What was your best part of today? What was the hardest part of today?
That's what I ask for you all the time.
And they'll tell you, hopefully.
They want to be heard.
Yes.
They want to be
heard. And
so,
being sensitive to that.
I'm going to ask you, as you're speaking, I had a random thought just sprinkle into my mind. A dear friend of mine homeschools 4. And she was actually in our hybrid last year, and she decided this year she was just going to do it all at home. And in the beginning it was very hard for her, and it's interesting because she was telling me, Mavi, I've been studying the book of Romans. So it's amazing that it just hit me when you said that verse, and I was like, Romans 13:8. And one of the things that she started doing too, which I thought was really clever because it really goes to your heart too, in teaching children responsibility, not only about time but also money. She actually, it was her husband's idea. She assigned the oldest daughter to help with the preschoolers.
Mm-hmm.
And she earned $1 a week, or she earns $1 a week
Yes.
by helping mommy teach also the preschoolers.
Mm-hmm.
And as you were talking, I was like, oh, I need to tell that to Cynthia. What a great idea. And I'm like, oh my goodness, when I congratulated the mother, she goes, oh no, it was my husband, just give him the credit. But I was like, you're starting so early in regards to also teaching them finance.
That's right. And you can teach them to clean house. You can teach
I know.
I mean, I taught my kids to paint.
Right.
But we took time out, like my husband would take the little one while I taught that. And so we did a lot together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that has a lot of benefits too, because you bind everybody
and
together.
That's what she said. She's like, Mavi, what I feel in our family more than anything is we're binded. We're together.
Yes.
The little one is looking up to the older one. The older one is excited to teach the little one.
About the little one, yeah. And they learn to like little kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so that when they see one elsewhere, they don't just ignore them because they're little kids.
Right.
They're willing to interact with all ages. So I think there's a lot of benefits to doing things as a family. And these kids that don't have families, they get into gangs and things like that. So kind of designed us to be in community.
Right.
And the family is a community.
Right.
And I think
and our choice is, our main responsibility, not our choice, our main responsibility is to cater to that need.
Yes.
That way they don't go to gangs or do other things.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And listen and listen and
Mm-hmm.
listen so that you try to meet their needs if there's a need. And realize that you can't do everything.
Correct.
But keep in touch with the Lord so that you have that sensitivity from the Spirit.
I love this thing. I know we were a little bit longer than typical, but I just had to keep going because it was such an amazing topic. And I do hear it's so funny because my friend who has the 8, they have a bus. It's not even a minivan, it is a bus. Yeah. And it's so funny. One of the daughters said, I'm not scared of anyone. I have 8 children. Nothing scares me. I have 8 children. So I congratulate mamas that have multiple. It's what joy and what responsibility.
And if the Lord gives you 8, then He'll give you the strength to do 8.
Exactly. So thank you.
Thank you. And thank you.
Bye everyone. We'll see you next week.